All right, let's go ahead and get started. Welcome everyone to our conference call tonight. We are going to be discussing having seller conversations and what that looks like, and maybe some great tips and tricks from some of my favorite people. I've invited Lisa Schultz to join the call. If she's on the line, if she could just say hello. She might be dialing in here in a minute. But before I get started, just kind of a couple housekeeping things. I do record the phone calls so you can review them later. So if we talk about something or you're wanting to revisit a concept we discussed, you can review it at a later time. We will go over today just some of the icebreakers and some of the questions and how to structure your scripting. I also want to make sure I have time to cover some of the key things to consider with Lisa Schultz when it comes to conversing with sellers, and maybe some tips and tricks she's come up with as well. She has been booked for the next 2 to 3 weeks with top producing listing agents, and she has some good things to share with you guys in regard to that. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and start. If you are on a cell phone, if you could mute your line at *6. And then we'll go ahead and go till right at 6 o'clock, and we'll wrap up the call at that time. So the first thing I want to go over with you is the one attachments I sent in the email, which has to do with some good seller questions. Many agents ask me, Rochelle, you were a top listing agent. You did a lot of business back in the day. You've been to a lot of training, paid for a lot of coaching. What would you recommend as far as, preparing to make that phone call? And one of the things I like to do is I don't like to sound scripted. I think you need to learn a script and then what I would consider ditch the script. So learn it and then ditch it, because it sounds unnatural. It sounds too canned. Some of you actually speak different languages, and you can really add a lot to your conversation when you interact in this type of way. But a lot of you struggle with, I don't know what kind of questions to ask, and then you start putting the horse before the cart, in essence, asking things or going about listing the property, and then you end up having to backtrack where you actually have to go back and ask some of these questions. So in order to avoid you having to go back to the drawing board and maybe do price reductions or uncover the real reason for why they're selling, I came up with, I would say, the 5 reasons or 5 types of topics of questions that I would incorporate into your seller conversation. So I'm going to cover this. I know, Lisa Schultz, are you on the line?
Yes.
Oh, there we go. I was hoping you would be on the line so you could play a little role play with me today. And then I'll turn it over.
Yeah, can you hear me okay?
I can hear you just fine. Thank you.
Oh, perfect. Hi, everybody.
Hello. So we're going to just role play. I've got some great agents on the call, Lisa, that are trying to get some good tips and tricks about what types of seller questions to ask. On the screen, I have kind of a template, and I'm just going to randomly just pick a few from each category and try them out on Lisa Schultz. And if you want to practice, this would be a good opportunity for you to connect with other best choice agents or your title rep or somebody that you trust, even a husband or a partner. It's good for you to practice before you actually go out there and play. So Lisa's my guinea pig tonight, and so I'm going to try calling her, and I'm just going to have a conversation with her. She's going to role play that, she's heard about Best Choice Realty, and she's heard about my services from a friend. So we're going to role play that one, Lisa. So ring your line. Hello? Is this Lisa?
Yes, it is.
Hi, Lisa. It's Rochelle with Best Choice Realty. How are you doing tonight?
Oh, I'm great. I'm glad you called.
I was just calling because your name and number came on my list to call today. Debbie had referred me to you, and she said you were thinking about maybe getting a market evaluation for your home. Is that correct?
That's right.
Yeah, so I just have a few questions. Is it a good time to talk with you right now?
Yeah, now it's perfect.
Okay, perfect. So I just need to gather some information. I already did a preliminary search on your address. Is it 123 Main Street in Kirkland?
Yes.
Okay. And can you tell me a little bit about your home?
Well, we bought it about 7 years ago. We thought we were going to remodel. It's not remodelable. We did it, so it's looks like it was built, it looks like it's built in the 90s.
Okay.
And we've loved it a lot. We've raised our kids in it, so it's a little beaten up. But we're just ready to kind of get out and get a little bit more property from what we've got right now.
Okay. So what is motivating you to sell at this time?
Well, I've been hearing that the market was great, and now I'm hearing that the market is not so great.
Okay. Well, that's what I'm here to make sure I get you the right information, Lisa. So what I'd like to do is ask you some questions about your motivation, understand more about your property, and come up with a game plan when we meet to go over, how that it will impact. And I would argue that it probably won't impact you much if we go about this the right way. So when I go to your home and we kind of look at your property and go over the pricing, you'll understand how I came up with the numbers by asking a few questions. So,
oh, good. That makes me feel better already.
That's great. So what challenges do you think we will face if we put your home on the market? Aside from maybe the market, where people are reducing their prices like crazy. Is there anything?
I'm really worried. I'm worried about the condition just because I see all these beautiful homes as I go on Redfin and Zillow, and it looks like everybody's remodeled their kitchen, everybody's remodeled and their, new carpet, and I'm not even close to that. I don't even think we can do that.
Okay, no problem. So you're looking to really sell as is then with what you have currently?
Probably. I mean, we can do some handy stuff, but we can't put $20,000 in this house. We might as well just stay here if we do.
Okay. All right. I wrote that down. Where are you hoping to move to?
We don't know. We'd like to, we know we can't stay in the school district, so I don't want to be more than 15 minutes, 20 minutes away from my kids' school because I want to waiver them in and make sure that they can finish school where they're going. So, but I would like a little bit larger property. We don't need as big of a house. Newer house would be great. And it just depends on what we can do with the equity. We don't want to go up very much in our mortgage payment.
Okay. I just checked, Lisa, on title. It's just you and your husband, right?
Correct.
On the title. Okay. And would you, do you have to sell the property in order to, you have enough of the down payment to purchase the next one? Or do you have more equity where we can maybe do a bridge loan?
I don't know what a bridge loan is.
Okay. So maybe some more information about that too, so we can help us. Because when you're trying to move from one place to the next, it's nice to have a lot of options. So I will make a note to bring some more information about those types of options for you.
And if we're out of the house, then that we can probably do more stuff with that. Yeah, I'd be interested in that because, I'd hate to show my house while I'm living in it.
Right. I mean, we can talk about that and how I best see it staged. There's some tricky things you can do with staging, with what you currently have and what your options are. And if it makes you more money, certainly we need to look at those options. So what do you feel your home is worth?
I'm probably just with what the neighbors are doing. I'm thinking my house is maybe worth $600.
Okay. I'm not going to hold you to it, Lisa. That's what I'm here for, is to make sure you get the full value of your home and you get the right buyer and get where you need to be. I think, Debbie explained that to you, when she recommended my name. How long have you lived in your current home? Is it the exact amount of time?
7 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And do you know what your payoff is?
It's probably around $320. We paid $380 for it. I don't really pay attention. We've just been making our payments and popping a couple extra payments when we could.
Okay, so about $320 if we use that to work off of. Okay, perfect. What do you expect from a real estate agent?
Well, that's a good question. I mean, you came highly, highly recommended by Debbie. She said your communication was great and that she felt like you had a really good sense of how to market the home.
Okay.
It's been 7 years. The agent that we had before, we were really, I feel like, we should have known more going into it.
Yeah.
So I'd like to understand the process better, but we don't know if we were taken advantage of or not, but since you're coming recommended, we're just putting all our trust in you.
Okay. Well, in the last 7 years, there have been some changes, certainly with how real estate is bought and sold and all of those types of things. What's particularly, what was your previous experience like 7 years ago? So maybe I can understand that better. Was
Oh,
it
sure. When we were buying this home, my husband was selling a condo,
uh-huh.
and he used one agent to sell the condo, and then we found this other agent at an open house, and we were thinking of moving, and honestly, they fought constantly. Next time, I think we'll probably have the same agent do both properties, just because they kept blaming each other, and I remember we had a delay, and I was in tears
Wow.
a lot. And then there was no communication. It was all of a sudden we get a call and we have to go sign papers and we don't know anything.
Mm-hmm.
So that was what was kind of frustrating about it, is we just didn't know, and we trusted everybody to tell us, and that didn't work so well.
So what I'm hearing from you, Lisa, is that the communication was really important. That if we would have had better communication, it would have gone smoother for you.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. What other things do you think I should know about your property that would help me in estimating the value of it? I mean, I know you said you didn't do much of the updates of the kitchen, but you said the carpet, how bad of the carpet is it?
There's great storage.
Okay, great storage.
Yeah, lots and lots of storage. And there was, we've done a lot of yard work. We've done some in-ground sprinklers since we've been here.
Wow.
And the rooms are big, and it's got a great family room that we all cozy up in. Oh yeah, and we did a whole energy package right when we moved in to save some money.
Oh, that's fabulous. That's good. That helps me add some value. When we're looking at trying to compare your property to others, we want to make sure that we consider some of these upgrades that you've done. So that's fantastic. So what I'd like to do, Lisa, now that I've got a good understanding of where what your property is about and kind of your readiness or the kind of your sense of urgency, if you will, is schedule a time where I can come out and take a peek at the house. Do you have some time this week to stop by and breeze in and breeze out?
Oh yeah, no. So you don't need to see my husband? I mean,
No,
is
no,
it
not
more
for
of a
my
sit
initial.
down, or you just want to check out the house?
Just check out the house. I do a very thorough analysis, Lisa, so that I understand how your home compares to the others that are either pending or sold. I'm very much aware of the marketplace, and I don't want to overprice your home, but I don't want to underprice it either. We want to price it right. So in order to
yeah, no
analysis, I need to come out and take a look.
Perfect. Whenever you're available, I'm normally home by 3:30.
Okay, tomorrow after 3:30 would work. I won't stay very long. I'm just in and out. About 15 minutes tops is all I need.
Oh, okay. You need me to scrub and clean?
No, don't even bother. I've seen many homes, so just let me come and take a look at the space, get a feel for, how as is, and come up with some ideas on how we can maximize the value. So yeah, if I can come by between 3:30 and 4, that would be fabulous. And then
perfect.
When can we meet with your husband to kind of go over my analysis?
Anytime. He's normally home by 6:30, and are evenings okay, or do we need to take off work to meet you?
No, evenings are fine. That's where real estate agents work, evenings and weekends. So whatever works for you would work for me.
Okay.
How about Friday? It gives me time to put everything together. It does take me a few hours to put all this analysis into my system and really come up with a good strategy for you. So how about
that'll work out well. Then yeah, perfect. And I'll make sure the kids are doing something else.
Okay, so let's plan on 7 on Friday, and then I won't interrupt with dinner plans and stuff like that. Let's do 7 o'clock on Friday, and then I'll come take a look tomorrow and just get a feel for the space, if that works for you.
Okay, perfect. And how are you paid?
Oh, how am I paid? Well, I'm paid for the service. So the most of the marketing and everything that I do is paid once I bring a buyer to you. So yeah, if I don't bring a buyer to you that you're not happy with, then I don't get paid. So I have to work hard for my. Yep.
Okay.
I'm paid by commission. Was there any other questions I could answer for you before I let you go?
Oh, I don't think so. You were great. I really appreciate it. I think Deb gave me a good one this time.
Okay, awesome. Thanks so much. So that's kind of how it's very organic, you guys. It's all I did was take the seller questions here And I picked a couple in each category to get an understanding and built my own script. So you can build your own script. You can make it very fluid. You notice I did ask, or refined, let the seller know that you're listening to them. Make sure you ask good follow-up questions, or you ask them to dig in deeper. Like on the one where I asked about what, was important to her about what do you expect from the real estate agent? I dug in deeper because I wanted to know what had happened. And she's basically telling me how I can earn her business and get that done by communicating and being good with my follow-up. I wrote those two things down. And then how to market the home. And then I'm highly recommended, so that will be easy, or it should be easy. I just have to make sure I deliver on communication and help her understand the communication process throughout the listing. So that's that. The questions that uncovered the details. This is another one that I've used before as a way to kind of keep me focused. If you're a newer broker, you may want to write the questions down. Don't wing it like I did. I could obviously use some, I'm rusty, so I obviously I could ask more questions. There's a lot I could do with Lisa Schultz's conversation, but until you feel comfortable and you kind of have a good fluid momentum, you might want to write some good questions down on a piece of paper, and that way you can keep the conversation rolling. You do need a conclusion, and you need to be very tight with the sooner the better. Do not wait for somebody else to get that opportunity to go meet with that seller. So the soonest I can go out, and even if it's tomorrow, go take a peek at the house, that's what you want to do. And then, your full analysis where you sit down and go over the CMA and the market proposal and what the market's doing and how to properly position the property. All of that should be done in the second appointment after you've seen the property and you've compared it. So that's why I scheduled it for Friday night. That was what I wanted to cover for my part. I want to turn it over to Lisa, because I told them before you jumped on the call, Lisa, that you have been working with some of the top producers in our area and getting on their schedules, and tell them about what you told me the other day about what you're talking with them about. Where's their biggest opportunity or biggest weakness?
The biggest weakness right now, everybody, is databases. If you think you're the only one out there who hasn't got their database done, there's so many people who've been so busy that they haven't put their people in the system or into a great CRM or even just an Excel, and they haven't talked to them. They closed in May. They haven't seen them. They haven't talked to them since then. So now they're a little bit nervous about having to go back and say something to them. So right now, we're looking at, are you on Facebook? How's your business page? A lot of people are going, I haven't had time. It's a little stagnant. I'm kind of embarrassed. Well, Guess what? They're going to find you anyways. So just try to post a couple things a week. Just get started and then add into the posts. But make sure that you're present, because once you're reminding them of yourself, they're going to log on and check you out.
Okay, so basically start with the basics is what I'm hearing Lisa say, and I've heard this from other designated brokers and owners and other companies as well, is they're getting their agents to get back to the basics, using social media, using, even as simple as an Excel sheet. I was talking with one of our brokers last week, and he said that I asked him, I said, what kind of CRM are you using? He's like, I just use a Google sheet or a Excel sheet, and I just go through and I'm contacting these people regularly, and he's doing really well. He's not using a fancy dancy CRM. He's literally just using an Excel sheet. So I know Lisa's got an attached Excel sheet that she has used with some of the people. Can you give me some ideas of what you could do with that Excel sheet, Lisa, or what agents could connect and get done?
Oh, sure. Yeah, and one of the things, if I can add real quick, I was at a convention 2 weeks ago, and it was a large national, it was the biggest convention for one of our larger franchise companies here, and they're saying, you know what, we might have our competition being all sorts of online real estate services, but what they don't have is relationships. Wow. And that's what, when you're talking about people who are paying, as Rochelle knows,
A
twenty,
lot of money.
$30,000 of their commissions back into these offices. Their speakers are telling them, get your database back, go relational, because that's what's going to keep you in front of them. So on the Excel spreadsheets, why it's so easy is if you put it in there, you can upload that to a newsletter. You can upload that to postcards. You can upload that to greeting cards. You can upload that into any CRM system if you're not ready to jump in and invest in a CRM system. The Google Sheets and the Excel, it's free.
Yep.
So what's nice is you can adjust it and look at it. And if you're not comfortable with Excel, feel free to give me a call. In an hour, we can show you how to sort and filter. It sounds it's not that complicated, and it's really helpful. I have 1,143 agents I work with, and believe it or not, you're all on an Excel spreadsheet as well as a CRM, but the Excel is my bread and butter.
Kind of the raw data, right? Where you can import this into different pretty databases, postcards, do all kinds of things with your Excel sheet. And when you look at this, when you think about your Excel sheet, to Lisa's point, I think when I last checked what the average cost per lead was with Zillow, I mean, all they're doing is collecting names, email addresses, and cell phone information from that particular buyer. I don't think Zillow does a good job with seller leads. They never have. So I can say that very confidently because, again, they can't relate to those people. Like I was relating to Lisa and came from word of mouth. That's a serious competitor for Zillow. But if I could relate it to you, to you guys on the call that have thought, oh, where do I get leads from? How can I get my cost per lead to be down? The average cost per lead at Zillow is over $100 per lead. And that's not very good. It just keeps rising. The cost per lead goes up. And when you think about it, you've got a lot of people in your database, people you've closed homes with, people you've interacted with, and you need to put them in some sort of database. How long does it take your crew, if I was to say I wanted to pay somebody, Lisa, to help me with my database, like to data entry? Maybe I think you gave me an idea of going and grabbing start with the basics, go to the MLS and pull my lag number and save the MLS sheets, and then follow up with the realist and title companies. How would that take me, and who would I contact to do that?
So I've got some independent contractors who will do this. They're mostly either stay-at-home moms or people in that area that all know how to do it, and they can get on your CRM if you have one. Their prices start at $13 an hour, and then it goes up to $20 an hour. Okay. And the timelines that it takes is, you're looking at what kind of raw data. I've had people bring boxes of old contracts, and we've had to highlight who the seller was, who were they representing, or the buyer, go on to, your title company's information or realist, make sure they're still there. And then we can also, time is money, we can go double check, and if you want us to, we can look for them on Facebook, or they can, and see if there's contact information. That's why it's important to have LinkedIn, because if you've got LinkedIn and your clients are on LinkedIn, normally they put their contact info. So we're actually data mining from LinkedIn and Facebook on your behalf, but we're not logged into you. We're logged into themselves.
Okay. So one thing you should do, if you guys don't know how to do, I've got the MLS open right now, Lisa, and I'm showing them. So basically you're going to go into the MLS, you're going to put in there anything pending. I went 1,000 days back for all my solds. And then right here, has list and co-list agent ID. That's your lag number. That's the office number. So I could go in and see anything that I have listed. This would only be listings. If I have 40 in the last 1,000 days. Or if I want to see all the people I represented as a buyer, that would be 28 in the last 1,000 days. So obviously I've done more listings than I have done buyers. And that tends to be the case. Most agents that specialize in listings have been around a long time or have developed good processes and procedures. They're the type of agents that have good databases and follow up with their database, like Lisa is explaining to you. But here's where you can gather the list of names. So here's all of the addresses. I could email this off, so I could check all the boxes here. There's 28, make sure you check all. And then I could email this off to whoever is handling my database that could actually help me put it all together, right, Lisa?
Absolutely. And here's the other piece that's really, really easy to do. If you've closed with them, so a lot of our data is buyers who we showed and they didn't write, or sellers we did the listing appointment on, but we didn't list. Don't forget about those guys. Those are the ones that we really need you to go back through your day timers or your organizers, or however it is, your electronic calendars, and get us the info. But the next thing you do is you contact the title companies that you closed with. We've all got the settlement statements. We've all got the contact information, and we've got their latest address if they moved away, because and you're allowed to have that within the file.
Oh, good. So I just have to call. Is it customer service that I call for that, Lisa?
Nope. You reach out to actually, the easiest thing is reach out to your account manager of that title company if you don't know them.
Okay.
The teams at Best Choice can give you that, and just say, hey, here's the thing. I want all my closings. I want copies of my settlement statements and last known addresses. And this is a really nice touch for you to give to them for year-end taxes. You're already ahead of the game.
Might as well do that now instead of waiting until January when everybody asks for that, right?
It's a great touch point, because they may all of a sudden think, oh my gosh, I'm having an open house. I'd love for you to drop by. This is the time you should be networking and getting into their social spheres to hand out your card and talk about the value you have in real estate.
Cool. You said you have 3 different sites. Some agents have asked me, Lisa, where do I go? What if I don't have their phone number? You know, they've lost their phone number, or I can't get that data from title anymore. What are the 3 sites that you would recommend? Do you know?
Well, White Pages is absolutely great.
Okay.
Once again, I'll stress Facebook and LinkedIn private messaging is awesome. That's going to be your faster response. And then we've also got other ones, but they're subscription services.
Okay.
You'd be surprised if you type in their name and Googled it, what you can find out. And then Spoke is a great one too.
SPOKE? Okay.
And I think it's called Spokeo. I've got a system on my voicemail system that actually, if it's not in my database, it will ask me if I want to go into Spokeo, and it pulls it for me.
What does it run you? Do you remember the cost on Spokeo?
I pay $99 a year for my voicemail system, and that does auto text and that, but I don't want to spend a lot of time on that. But if you're having problems, just give me a call, and I'm more than happy to try to help you get some inexpensive ways to find phone numbers.
Okay, good. I just, up on the screen, you should see Lisa's contact information, her cell phone number direct. I love that, about that I have a direct connection with Lisa, and you know, she goes above and beyond the call of duty whenever I ask her to help out. So we've got several people on the call, and we're right at 6 o'clock. So I appreciate you guys taking the time. Thank you, Lisa, for joining my role play on the whim. I appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for inviting me. Thanks, you guys. I hope you have a great, successful holiday. Let me know how I can help you.
Okay, have a great week, you guys. Talk to you soon.
Thanks.